With the SATs coming up, I hired a top student from a poor family to tutor me. However, he insisted on bringing his childhood friend along to every session. I turned him down politely, and he did not push it any further. Still, on the day his childhood friend left my house, she was hit by a car. After that, she dropped out of school and got married. Life went on. He kept tutoring me. We both got into the same university, grew close, fell in love, got married, and had a child. Everything seemed perfect until one night, during a business dinner, he heard that his childhood friend was being abused by her husband. That was when everything fell apart. He locked me inside our home while I was heavily pregnant, then tortured me to death. If you hadn't gotten her hurt back then, why would she have rushed into marriage and ended up being abused? This is what you owe her. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day he brought her to my house for tutoring. This time, I would not spend a single cent on that psycho. Wendy, your classmates are here. It was my mom's voice. I jerked my head up from my desk and instinctively pressed a hand to my lower abdomen. No baby, no blood, no pain. My mom was knocking on the door outside, reminding me again. I was still wearing my high school uniform. However, the memory of that agony still clung to my mind, refusing to fade. I stood there, frozen, thinking for a long time before I finally understood. I had been reborn. In the living room, Matthias Jackson and Evelyn Lowell sat stiffly on the couch, just as expected. Today was the day Matthias had brought Evelyn over to study with me. It was the beginning of everything that went wrong in my previous life. On the day I was about to give birth, Matthias came home from a business dinner and started hitting me amniotic fluid mixed with blood spread across the floor. The pain was so intense I nearly passed out. After we got married, we were not as clingy as other newlyweds, but we had never even argued, let alone laid a hand on each other. I looked at him, my eyes filled with shock and fear. What was happening? A dull pain throbbed through my body again. The baby tears streamed down my face as I begged him to take me to the hospital. However, Matthias locked the door and stood over me, looking down like a judge passing a sentence. Matthias, please help me. I could not understand why he was doing that to me. He stood with his back to the light, his face hidden in shadow. If you hadn't caused Evelyn to get hit by a car back then, how would she have ended up rushing into marriage and getting abused? This is what you owe her. Wendy, you should know what it feels like to be completely helpless. He stressed the last words so heavily they felt like knives' blood kept flowing beneath me, and Matthias continued to curse me with bitter hatred. The pain was unbearable. Still, through his words, I managed to piece together what had happened. Earlier that day, at his business dinner, someone had told him that Evelyn was being abused by her husband. So, when he came home, he decided to make me suffer everything Evelyn had gone through. Back then, all I had done was refuse to let him bring Evelyn along when he tutored me. For that, he blamed me for her accident. He had hated me for an entire lifetime. If that was the case, why did he marry me? Why did he accept all my kindness as if he deserved it? Thinking of that, I clenched my fists. The moment I stepped out, Matthias jumped to his feet. Eager, Evelyn's foundation isn't very strong. When I tutor you in the future, can I bring her along? Evelyn stood beside him, glancing at me cautiously. Her brows were slightly knit as if the request embarrassed her. Matthias gently patted her hand, signaling her to relax. I noticed every little gesture facing their hopeful looks. I shook my head lightly. Number in my previous life, it was the same. I refused Matthias, and he hated me for it. Evelyn had transferred to our school during our senior year. Evelyn looked soft and fragile, like a pure white jasmine flower drifting down from the sky. The first time she walked into our classroom and introduced herself, Matthias could not take his eyes off her. Her family situation was not great either. She only had a disabled father at home. Maybe it was that unspoken bond between people who struggled, but Matthias and Evelyn quickly grew close. Evelyn could never keep up with the lessons. She would carry test papers covered in red X's, sit beside Matthias, and ask timidly, Matthias, may I ask you something? Every time, he would take the paper and patiently explain everything step by step. There was none of the impatience he showed when he tutored me. Once, after Evelyn ranked dead, last in a physics exam, she lay her head on her desk and cried. Matthias pushed her desk mate aside and sat next to her, quietly